Good morning. Good morning. It is Wonderful Wednesday, and it is Everything Hypnosis live with me, Susie Bowers, at 11:11 Pacific time, which is angel activation time. Woohoo! Well, I'm here in my office at California Hypnosis Center and Academy, and I am just so excited, as always, to be a part of your life and to take a moment out just to talk about something that I hope will give you some value today and help improve your life. And it's kind of based on some of the things that I talk about in my book, 10 Keys to Living a Soul Life, which is on Amazon if you're interested at all. So just quickly, I'm going to talk a little bit about 10 keys. I wrote 10 Keys to Living a Soul Life back in 2010, 2011. I revised it. I'm going to be revising it again because I've learned so much more and so much great, yummy goodness, juicy goodness in here that I'm going to be updating to make it even better for you, But what I wanted to talk about today is kind of personal stuff, more along the lines of self-improvement and things that are happening in the world, more than talking about business and that kind of thing. So let's get this party started. Woohoo! Let's just see here what we got. Do-do-do. All righty. So, hey, we're here. We're here. Thanks for joining me. It's good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. I'm happy to see you here. So, again, I'm Susie Bowers. This is Everything Hypnosis with Susie Bowers at 11:11. So, we are here to ignite your hypnotic awesomeness. So, what do I mean by that? Well, the truth is, everything is hypnosis. We are all in and out of different brain waves and states of mind all day long and all evening long. But hypnosis itself is just a brainwave. It's just such a misconception. There's so many myths about it. But the truth is, our mindset, our thoughts, our emotions, all of that is part of hypnosis. So when I say ignite your hypnotic awesomeness, I'm talking about being the awesome you. And that's what this is really about. And of course, as you know, I often will bring in other hypnotherapists and coaches as experts to share the things that they know about what we're talking about today. So let me ask you a quick question. Are you experiencing depression or anxiety in your life? I have been getting a lot of calls for those two issues. And in the psychology world, a lot of people think that depression and anxiety are the same thing, or they get sometimes lumped together in the same category. But the truth is that's not true. They are two very different things from a way of thinking. Now, can you have both of those things going on? Sure, yes, you can. But here's the good news, that you can change it by changing what you focus on in your thoughts. So I appreciate you joining me here this morning while we talk. We're going to dig into this a little bit more, and I'm going to hopefully give you some really good nuggets about how you can change your mind and change your life and feel better. So obviously there's been lots going on. I've talked about this a few times, and it's really a part of a key program that I work with my clients using the 10 Keys to Living a Soul Life protocol. And basically, how it works is this: whatever is going on in your mind, your thoughts in your mind, you are having an imagination behind it. So there's always an imagining or a picture with every thought that you have, but most of the time you are completely unconscious to this going on in the back of your mind, if you will. So, what happens when we're experiencing depression? Let's start with depression. So, depression is when we're focusing on, or reliving, if you will, reliving things that already happened. So dwelling on the past, dwelling on things that happened in our past that are over now. It's over. It's done. But we're still carrying it on in our minds as if the story were happening right now. And so when we dwell on past experiences and what happens is we start imagining or remembering things where we felt like the victim. We felt like we did not have control over the situation and somebody hurt our feelings. We were offended. That's very ego oriented, and we all have our ego or personality self. That is very ego oriented. But the problem is not that, the experience didn't happen and that you shouldn't learn something from it, or, learn how to have better boundaries or whatever that experience was there to teach you. The difficulty is when you continue to go back and relive it. And all of us are guilty of this on some level at one time or another. It can happen. I know that it's been an area I've had to work on really hard all of my adult life, to not dwell on things that happened to me as the victim, the things that happened to me as a child, and as a result of, well-meaning parents and grandparents, but people that should have been behaving a certain way and then behave differently, that was not really positive for me. But when I look at the overall picture and what I was there to learn, it made me into a very strong person, a very strong woman. And it's helped me navigate a lot of other challenging situations that have happened in life because of those childhood experiences. But it's really easy to go back and start dwelling on the hurts and the feeling not good enough, and why didn't they love me? Just all these conversations that we have in our own mind. And unfortunately, then we start imagining things. And the truth is, that energy from that past time's over now. It's already shifted, it's changed. You've changed, I've changed. And when we're dwelling on that, even trying to remember it, or we do remember it, we don't necessarily remember it correctly. And we often add embellishments and other narratives to it, stories that we tell ourselves that keep us stuck in depression. So that's what causes depression, is dwelling on past experiences. The truth is, if you read any of Eckhart Tolle's work, The Power of Now, and he describes this very succinctly, is that there is nothing in the past that's important. All there really is right now. This is the present moment. This is our gift. All there is right now, this moment. And when you get better at staying fully present in the moment, you're going to feel better. You're going to be able to embrace your life in a whole new way and get yourself out of that old stuck energy that's irrelevant, that victim mentality. Somebody did something to me, poor me, why am I not worthy? That kind of conversation and narrative is going to just be like an anchor holding you down and keeping you stuck in depression. And depression's just not a fun place to be. And that, I know that there's chemicals, brain chemicals involved sometimes, and that's very true. And I'm not going to discount that. I'm certainly not a medical doctor. But I would say 90% of the time, our depression is a cause of our own stinking thinking and what we focus on in living in our victim archetype. That's basically what that's called in psychology, is an archetype. So we have different kinds of archetypes. We have the perpetrator, we have the criminal, we have the prostitute, we have the priest. We have all kinds of archetypal personality or energies and types that we can experience. And you just don't want to get into that narrative, because that's not who you really are. Remember that this is a really key thing that I talk about a lot in my program. Is that we are spiritual beings. We are all from the same source of love and light, the one. We are all one. And we come here, we incarnate into a physical personality, which is our ego self, so that we can learn and grow and evolve. So none of us truly, in the sense of the word, we're not really victims ever, because we're here to learn and grow, and we're all here playing these different roles or archetypes to make that happen. You are evolving as your soul self on this human journey. And it's pretty cool when you start looking at it from that higher, wiser perspective of your soul self or your higher self. Then you start to get into a whole different flow of love and being and joy. And that's what can happen in the present moment. So if you look back over your past and you get into a state of forgiveness and acceptance, accepting that you were there to learn from that person or that situation, what is it that you need to know so that you can move forward and leave it behind? It's gone, it's over. It does not define who you are. It is just part of your growth and learning process. Then you're going to be happier. Okay, so that is the past, depression. Now, well, we talked a little bit about the present, but now let's talk about the future. So, anxiety. So, depression is dwelling on the past, anxiety is worrying about the future. Again, the future, it's kind of like the past is over, the future has not happened yet. And I find people that are really experiencing high levels of anxiety. We all have anxiety from time to time. That's normal. We all get depressed from time to time because things kind of kick, can kick us and when we're down. And but we don't want to live there. That's the whole point of this conversation. Is we do not want to live there. We want to live in the happy joy area. Okay, so we'll talk about that in just a minute, what the final outcome should be or could be. So we start worrying about things that haven't happened yet, like maybe, oh, how am I going to pay this bill? Or what am I going to do if my car breaks down? Or what am I going to do if I don't find the love of my life by the time I'm 40? What if I don't have this or that? And we worry and we worry and we worry. And the thing is that worry creates this anxious feeling that we have to accomplish all these things that aren't even here. And it's irrelevant because we have no clue what's going to happen tomorrow. In fact, you've heard the saying, tomorrow is promised to no one. And that is so true. It really isn't promised to anyone. We can set really good intentions. We can visualize our desired outcomes. We can create that vision board. I love all those things. Those are a great way to activate that law of attraction and set your intention and set the energies of the universe in motion towards what you desire. But that's different than worrying about it and dwelling on things that haven't happened and being afraid of taking action or afraid of not taking action, whatever the case is. If you are focused on those things that are worrisome, like the things I described, you're going to have anxiety. And that's what can create high levels of anxiety and panic attacks. So that's where panic attacks can come from. And oh my gosh, have you ever experienced a panic attack? It is not fun. So when I share this with you, I am speaking from my own personal experience with it. It is not fun. And one of the things that I've learned is that I can't do anything about those things. So I ask myself those questions like, is this something I can do something about right now? If the answer is no, then I just let it go. I can put it on my calendar because I keep a written calendar of things I may need to take a look at later. And I find a lot of freedom in that. So once you write it down, you don't have to think about it anymore. You don't have to let it live in your conscious mind, burning up energy that you need for other things like being happy. So write it down as something maybe you need to look at in a week or two or a month or at the end of the year and let it go. Because if you can't do something about it today, then there's no point in even thinking about it. Don't let it rent space in your head for free. All right. So where we're powerful, we're not powerful when we're dwelling on the past or worrying about the future. Where we're being the victim. So remember, that's part of that past dwelling thing. You're not a victim no matter what. So even if something horrible and terrible, horrific happened to you, and you have post-traumatic stress, for example, maybe something really tragic and traumatic happened to you, you're still not a victim. Do not live there because it disempowers you from moving forward. It's over. Deal with where you're at today and be the best version of yourself. So this morning I was reading the companion book to the Four Agreements because I really love that program with Don Miguel Ruiz. That book's been super impactful in my life. And I was reading the companion book and it was talking about the stories that we tell ourselves. And now it's a great time to get in the present moment and bring that narrative into your conscious awareness and ask yourself some really good questions. So question like, for example, might be, what did I need to learn from that experience? How is that story or that narrative playing out in my life over and over again? And is it benefiting me at all at this point? So those are some good questions. What I hear often, my clients will ask questions that are disempowering, like, why did this happen to me? Why don't they love me? Why? Instead of how can I learn from this and how can I benefit from it, which are more empowering questions. And that will give you some really good feedback on what your next steps are. And then you can move forward. So letting go of the narrative and the stories we've been telling ourselves so we can be fully present in the moment, but getting those nuggets, getting those powerful lessons that we can apply to our day-to-day lives. That's what it's important. And the other part of it is love, being in the love energy, getting into your heart center right here and recognizing from your higher, wiser self point of view, everyone has been doing the best they know how with what they know at that time. Then what they know now might be different than what they knew 10 years ago. And so we can get in our heart center and recognize that everyone's doing the best they can, including you. You're doing the best you can and keep doing that. But get in that heart center and forgive from the level of everything was about your growth and learning, and get out of that victim mode, and you're going to be so much happier. So Eckhart Tolle, back to the power of now, he talked about just being fully present in this moment, feeling your feet on the floor, taking that deep breath. Pay attention to your breathing. You realize how beautiful your breathing is. You know, I say this often to my clients that you could go a few weeks without any food, which would be really horrible because I love to eat, obviously. You could go a few days without any water, but you know, you can only go a couple of moments without your breath. So when you take a moment to do some deep breaths, close your eyes, focus on your center and breathe your body. Feel your feet on the floor, or if you're lying down, that's fine too. But just be perfectly and completely aware of your physical body. Breathe into it, and then just follow and observe your breath. You are observing your life force energy. It's moving and animating everything about you. It is feeding your cells and helping the cellular activities that keep you healthy, safe, and alive. It's so powerful. You're so much more powerful than you even know. And the beginning of getting fully present in the moment using your breath can be that little gateway and doorway. And then be aware of like the feeling in your fingers. Just take a moment and observe your hands and your fingers. Observe your toes and your feet and your shoes. Just feel your energy as it moves through your body, as you're using your imagination and your mind to scan your body, as you're breathing your body. You're getting fully aware of your physical being. You're getting fully present, 150,000% in your body. You're so powerful. It's so powerful. And what happens then is it quiets down that stinking thinking that we all have. That stinking thinking meaning the part of us that wants to dwell on the past and get all depressed, and the part of us that wants to worry about the future and create a bunch of anxiety. So when you're breathing your body and you're fully present in your physical being, this is where you're powerful. It quiets down the conscious ego mind. And it's amazing what you can accomplish from that state. So that is it for today. This was short and sweet. I am Susie Bowers, and I'm so thrilled that you joined me today. Thank you for coming. If you have any questions, feel free to drop me a note or shoot me a message. I'd love to hear from you. If there's anything I can do to help you, I encourage you to get my book, 10 Keys to Living a Soul Life. It's on Amazon. It is a really simple read. Forgive my typos. It was my first effort at writing and publishing, but there's a lot of really good nuggets in here. And this is basically the core system that I use with my clients at California Hypnosis Center. Wish you a wonderful day. I love you. Have a wonderful Wednesday and a great rest of your week. And I will see you soon.
I'm gonna hit the